started shopping in Amishville, um, to,
Yeah.
just to get a break from 224 and the thought that we're getting away from some population, and probably a little bit steered by the statistics and seeing less total cases and less total deaths down there. So I thought, all right.
Probably why we have the highest mortality. And again, like we discussed the last time, this is going to take a while to gather the information that will give us the final explanation if there be one. I think the age of the population, I think the distance per capita, per square mile, I'm sorry. I think the fact that we're a sort of a hub, we have a large Latino population here too. And a lot of them have a lot of relatives in New York, New Jersey, Philly. So those are heavily Latino populated areas too. So I would tell you, coming from that culture, that we would like to spend a lot of time, family time together. So I'm not sure that if things got real hot in New York, that people started moving this way, just to be with family, relatives, and friends. We have older patients, we have obesity issues, and I want you to, and I think I mentioned this to you in private, the deaths in New Orleans, they just take Louisiana, but just particularly New Orleans, in 6 days, the last 6 days before today, all the deaths associated with coronavirus surpassed the people who died from pneumonia and influenza all year in 2018. The neighboring Jefferson Parish, they have the second highest per capita death rate of the counties in the nation. So poverty and household income, in that area has something to do with this. This disease, even though it will strike the rich and the famous and the not so famous and the poor, when it hits a populated area with less than adequate resources, both from a medical standpoint and from a financial standpoint, it could create havoc. And that's where part of the reason why we're seeing what we're seeing in New Orleans and these parishes.
What about Youngstown's elevated numbers, possibly because of it's a hub for Columbiana, for Trumbull, for even Pennsylvania, for Lawrence and Mercer? Is that a potential impact on the numbers that we get a lot of people coming from 5 counties?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I think that we have a lot of things that those counties may be lacking. I have several patients who come from Ashtabula to get their medical services here. So yes, you're absolutely right. We, for some reason, are the hub for 5 or 6 counties around us, particularly those 3 from Pennsylvania. If anybody looks at the map and you look at, if you take Northeastern Ohio, the reason we're called Northeastern Ohio, to be honest with you, as I look at this map, is if you take Youngstown, Trumbull, Akron, Canton, Cleveland, and you put all those together, we have almost 2,000 cases, or almost 1,500 cases, I'm sorry, just mentioning those counties.
You don't see the volume in the greater Toledo to Bowling Green to Findlay area. It doesn't exist. But us to Akron to Cleveland is just this bubble.
In those areas, I mean, right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 counties in southeastern Ohio that have reported no cases, and 3 on the northwest.
It's just a lack of testing. You think that's accurate at this stage of the game?
I think so. I mean, most of those counties down there have 3 cases, 2 cases, 8 cases reported, 4 cases, 1 case.
What about Ohio's numbers overall? It seems like we are Ohio's this little mecca of pretty good numbers when you look at the states that are surrounding us,
Yeah, we're completely surrounded by those states. You're correct. And
and their
for
numbers
about
are worse than ours.
most definitely, yeah. I mean, look at Pennsylvania. I think that Pennsylvania is looking at what we think might happen here, and they're looking at it a week or two earlier.
Yeah.
Um, I think that this week may very well be the worst week. Um, but when I look at the totality of the numbers, I went back 2 weeks, and we are between 100 and some and 400 and some cases at the worst time. It was yesterday before. Um, there's not, I'm not seeing the 600 and 800s and thousands, and I'm hoping that it stays that way, uh, because then we know that all that Ohioans are doing is really making a difference. The one state that you are going to need to watch, because it will give you a better understanding, is Georgia. And the reason for that is because Georgia just reopened their beaches. So if there's going to be a lot more movement and a lot more people gathering, um, because they have relaxed their social distancing when it comes to access to beaches, Georgia will have a story to tell here within the next month.